Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about how to get the most out of your revision and how to plan the best effective revision for you. I am actually coming up to, well, approaching my year 12 end of year mocks, and these are quite important because they determine your grade that becomes your predicted grade for university next year. So I want to work really hard for these mocks, and we've had a lot of guidance from school, but I've still found that I've struggled with how to revise, especially being the year that didn't take our GCSEs. I just had no clue where to start with actual effective revision. And with A-levels, as I'm sure all of you will know, there's so much content we have to learn. And so I was kind of confused as to what to do. So in today's video, I'm actually going to share with you what I've started to do, how I've planned my revision, and how this method could work for you. So I'm just going to run you through what I've done so far to plan my revision for each subject, how you can do this, and also what makes this technique really effective and helps you revise well. Okay, so the first really great thing about this technique is that you can have your revision timetable or schedule as either digital or printed out, if you have a printer of course. But I have done this on the computer, so I'm gonna switch you over to my computer screen so you can see what I am doing basically. So I've just started screen recording on my MacBook because I feel like that's an easier way to show you, whether that's on the screen now or like popped up at the side. Anyways, so I take 3 A-levels. I take economics, biology and history, all really heavy content-based subjects. So I did want to give that as a little warning before you see this list because it might feel really intense to you. So right in front of me right now, I have my economics revision list. And that's what I've called it. And basically the first thing I want you to do, and this is the thing that's going to take the longest, so one way that makes this method really effective is it doesn't take ages. If you sit down and you plan out what you're going to do each individual hour of every single day, that is not an effective way of doing it, because you're going to, yes, you're going to be able to look over topics and things, but it's going to take a very long time that you are then losing time revising. So this probably takes about, I'd say roughly 15 minutes per subject that you take. So for me it's taken 45 minutes, but that is nowhere near what it would have taken if I'd set it out by date, by hour, and you've also got to factor in then what you're doing on different days, whereas this is very much centered around already what you're doing but just breaking it down for you. So I've obviously opened Excel. If you don't have Excel, do not worry. You can either get Excel online if you have a Microsoft account through school, or you can just use Google Sheets because that just works just the same. You just need some sort of like boxed document. So here is my economics revision topics. I do micro and macro as 2 separate things, so that's why I've put down these little numbers, as you can see here. They're all down the side, and this is for micro and macro. You'll see that because, yeah, they changed numbers. So these are all of the topics that we've covered so far. I'm actually just going to format this because it's out of format and it's annoying me. There you go. So these are all the topics we've covered so far. That is literally everything that can come up in the mock that I know of. Our teachers haven't actually told us what can come up, but this so far is everything that we've covered. So there might be more, there might be less, we're not really sure yet, but I'm hoping this is everything. Of course, it being digital means you can always come back on and change it, which is really, really helpful. So I'm just going to show you each of my subjects. So that's economics, this is biology. This has a lot more, so I've broken this down into a lot more subsections because biology is very content heavy, so you can choose how much you want to break it down. So these subsections, these ones, everything in column B basically is one session of revision, and they might take varying lengths to revise depending on how confident I am, how much content there is for each thing, but I've broken it down as much as I can in biology because it's so content heavy. And then I've also made one for history. So this is history. This is how they actually are going to end up looking. History has key questions, that's how it's broken down, and then there's 2 different history things, so I've broken those completely down. So this is how it's actually going to look when you have it, when you print it off. So this is why I really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it off because I prefer writing and just having things in physical than I do on digital. If you prefer digital things, then of course keep it on here. It makes literally no difference. I've got 4 columns here. You don't have to revise 4 times, but basically each time I revise a question, I will write the date that I revised it in the box. So each time I revise whatever topic it is for whatever subject, I will write it in the first box. So for example, on here, if I revise the economic problem on the 15th of June, I think it's a bit late, but you know, the 15th of June, my god, I can't type, there we go. Oh, it's not 2020 anymore, it's 2021. There we go. So then I know that that has been revised on the 15th of June. So on here, online, you can then fill it in as much as you want. If you've already started revising and you haven't got a revision plan, you can still do this and just fill in when you did revise things, if you can remember, or just say like visited in May. Like, you don't need to put the exact dates if you've already started revising. Anyways, then I'm actually going to print one off to show you what I do in physical form. And digital, you can do this all on digital, and I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec so you know what I'm talking about. But when you come to print, just make sure you've got grid lines on so you can actually fill in boxes and you haven't got just a sheet like you would on a Word document. So as you can see here, I have the an example one printed out. So this is actually my history one. So I'm going to show you what method I think is most effective when using these revision timetables. So for example, if I said I had revised key question 1I, why and with what result did Americans experience the second Red Scare, and I said I revised that today, so it is the 11th of May 21, then I can say how confident did I feel with that? And you can either write the date in a colour, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is highlight. And I said I really didn't feel confident with that. And basically ask yourself, how would you feel about that topic if you were going into the exam tomorrow? So for me, if that topic came on the exam tomorrow, I would feel horrendous. I would not know what to write. So I just highlight that in red, but for me pink, because I like pastel colours. And then when you next come to revise it, then you can have 2 other colours that kind of move up. So it goes to amber and then green, just like a classic traffic light system I've got here. This is yellow and green, but you know, anyways. And so then when you next come to revise it on the 15th of May, let's say it's already the 15th, it's not, but let's say I just revised it. Oh, I'm feeling more confident with it. But then you're going to revise something else. So back on the 4th of May, I revised that. And I was amber. I was quite confident with that, but not 100% there. On the 6th of May, I revised this, and I was really confident in it. And on the 9th of May, I revised this. Wasn't very confident at all in it. I revised it again on the 10th of May. Still wasn't confident in it. Do you see what I mean? So you can kind of keep track of all of the topics that you've got to revise and how you're feeling on them. So I know that today I need to go back over this. I need to go back over this. Let's say it's the 21st now. And I need to go back over this. But I don't really need to go over that until like right before the exam, just to make sure I've got it, because it's green. And then as things get better, so today that was a green, today that was a green, I no longer need to look over those, but this is still a yellow, so maybe I need to revise that for a 4th time. You can have as many columns as you want, you can do this as many times as you want, and I just think this is a great way to keep track of your revision and keep track of what you need to improve on. So I hope I explained that well. If you're not really sure, honestly just ask any questions you want below and I will answer them. So this is by far a really, like, one of the most effective ways of planning out your revision. It takes barely any time. It means that you can keep track of your progress, and also means that you're not confined to this hour I'm going to do this. Because if you need to spend 2 hours on a subject, then you need to spend 2 hours on a subject. And if you need to spend 10 minutes on it, then you need to spend 10 minutes on it. And you're not setting yourself up to have to sit and do something for an hour that only needed 10 minutes really to go over it, or it was a really short topic or something like that. So It's really, really effective way of planning your revision, and if you're looking for a new way to do that, then 100% try this out. It may not work for you, and don't be shocked if it doesn't. That's absolutely okay. You have to find what works for you, and there are millions of different ways of revising, but I do just want to say the top ways that you can revise that get the top marks in every single level, whether that's GCSE, A-level or university. These are what the A-star students, first students or grade 9 students do, and I promise you this is what works. A couple of methods that you can do. Obviously different things work for different people, but it's all about recalling what's in your memory already and what's not there. So that's about what revision is, identifying what you don't know and making sure you do know it. So first thing in a revision session is to sit down and make a brain dump. So if you know from your timetable, which is why this comes in really handy, because it breaks it down in sections, so you don't even have to think about doing that when you sit down to revise. So if I say, right, today I need to revise how and why the Cold War started soon after World War II, write that in the middle of an A4 blank piece of paper, jot down any ideas I have. Right now I haven't revised that, so I have no ideas, but like I might have a couple that come to mind. I could guess at a few things and just see what I can remember. Then I can revise it. I can look at what I got right, what I didn't get right, what I need to remember for next time. And then when I next come to revise it, when I next put a date down on here, I can try and do a brain dump at the start and see if my revision from last time was effective. The actual revision can be honestly anything that works for you. Don't just sit and read your notes. Everyone says that, but it's so true, because it never ever goes in. Not unless you have a photographic memory, but I don't think many people have photographic memories. But what you need to do is active recall, whether that's flashcards, learning keywords, whether that's essay questions, practice questions, just making sure that you are applying the skills that you're going to have to use in the exam. So for example, for this one, for history, I start by learning the key dates for that and trying to remember them next time when I next do my brain dump on the piece of paper, so I can try and write down as many dates as possible. So learning dates, Quizlet is really good for learning dates, normal flashcards if that's what you prefer, but also making mind maps of events, timelines, just trying your best to remember it. And they don't have to be artsy, just whatever actually gets you to remember it. So practice questions are amazing, but also practice questions help you identify what you don't know, where there's gaps in your knowledge. So if you're sat looking at this question going, I have absolutely no clue what you're on about, then you know that topic you really need to focus on. So it's just about tailoring your learning to you. If your friend says, oh, I find 1.2 of economics really hard, great, but please don't then try and think, oh, economics 1.2 is really hard. It might not be for you. You just need to try and find where your weaknesses are, and you might surprise yourself. You might have thought, wow, this was really hard in class, but you've actually remembered a lot of it just because of the way it was taught to you. So try and make sure that you're recalling from memory, because that's all you've got in your exam is your brain. So don't look at your textbook while you're revising. Really try hard, once you've got the actual content learned in your head, to not use anything when answering practice questions and stuff. And it's also really great to mark your own practice questions. Don't get parents or teachers to do it for you. If you can find a mark scheme, mark your own, and then you can find where you need to use keywords. This is very true for most sciences and probably maths too, but like less keywords but more what calculation you have to do. And that is the best way to learn. The only way you can learn is by making mistakes. So you have to revise the things that you don't want to revise, that you know you don't know, make the mistakes, and then next time hopefully you've learnt from that and you won't make the mistake again. I really hope this video helped you out. I know I've just talked at you for probably about 20 minutes, and I wish you the best of luck in any exams you have coming up, whatever level you're at. And honestly, just try your best. I know it can be really hard to motivate yourself to revise. If it helps, put music on, put your phone away. If it helps, then time-lapse yourself revising. I often do that even when I'm not doing it for a video, just to make sure that you think someone's watching you, so you don't go on your phone, or your phone's time-lapsing so you can't go on your phone. Another thing you can do is pretend that you're like in a movie or in some sort of study video thing. That's what I often do. I'm often like I'm often like, right, I need to be really productive, I need to be that productive girl in the movies, and I will sit down and do my work then and pretend that I'm the productive girl when I actually do become the productive girl because I've sat down and done work. Just play mind games. If you can't get motivated, then make sure to try and do something that motivates you, whether that's film or TikTok, if you're studying, anything. Just try and motivate yourself, because exams are so close and they're so important, so you want to do well in them. So yeah, I hope this revision planning method helped you out. I know this isn't my original idea at all. I've seen loads of videos on it and loads of Instagram posts about it, but it's effective and it works, and it's not mine, but I do want to share it with everyone else because I feel like if it helps me, then it'll help you. If you want to see more revision related content, as I will be revising a lot over the next month, then please make sure to comment or let me know over my Instagram at _completelykatie, and I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye!